Good morning. It's Tuesday, June 15th, 2021. I'm Pastor Thor Ramsey with Center Church. This is Gospel for Five, where we take 5 minutes out of our day and focus on the gospel because Jesus is the gospel. We've been going through the book of Proverbs, and we're in the 7 things that the Lord hates. There are 6 things that the Lord hates. In chapter 6 of Proverbs, Solomon writes 7 that are an abomination to him. Haughty eyes. So the haughty eyes, that's arrogance, that's pride. It's the kind of pride that looks at the unbelievably humbling circumstances of the universe that we find ourselves in. It says, oh, we pretty much got it all down. We kind of understand how human history worked and, single cell, and then we just kind of blew up. We got it all down. We weren't there to witness it, but we certainly have it. There's an arrogance, I find. I think I'm just thinking about it because I'm reading a screenplay by Charlie Kaufman called Adaptation. And it is, and I was thinking to myself today, his worldview, and I think Charlie Kaufman is a phenomenally original screenwriter. Not a great director, but a good screenwriter. Great screenwriter, one of the most creative screenwriters of the past 20 years, I would say. But there is just this religious assumption. His worldview is basically, in my opinion, in my perspective, a religious assumption. He views a materialistic universe with the eyes of faith. Now, I don't think he would see it that way. It's science. I'm following the science, but there's a faith that you put in to the different findings, the different, worldviews that are developed from the scientific hypothesis. There's still a faith element involved, whether they'll admit it or not, there is. And that's what I find. But to me, at the same time, there's an arrogance that comes with it. Because it allows people to say, who needs God? We've got it figured out. We have it figured out. There's an arrogance to that. And of course God would hate that. Why? Because it's going to be disastrous for everyone who has that perspective of life. Ultimately, it's going to be disastrous. You will leave this world and you will walk into spiritual death. If you had no sense of spirituality in this world, you will leave this world with an immediate sense of spiritual death. And that is why haughty eyes are a thing that the Lord hates. They are an abomination to him. Because it is human arrogance, human pride that says, we will determine reality apart from God. We will do everything. We don't need God for anything other than to breathe and get from day to day and all the things that we actually take for granted and don't thank him for. So, haughty eyes. A lying tongue. Lies, again, are hated by God because people cannot find the truth if they're presented with lies. If the lies are so compelling, people won't give truth the time of day, and that's in the history of culture in so many aspects. The lies have become compelling. Just look at the, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but look at critical theory, critical race theory, intersectionality, identity politics, which really spring from a postmodern worldview, relativistic, and yet they are preached with an arrogance. They're preached with a spiritual certitude, with an absolutism, that this is the absolute way to look at the world. And it is a completely false narrative, but it's a narrative that the entire culture is being swept up in. Again, if the lies are so compelling, people won't give the time of day to the truth, and that's why God hates lies. So, what has God said to you today, and what are you going to do about it?